Welcome to the Goalbusters Expert Peak Productivity Tips podcast, where top business experts get just 7 minutes to answer 5 rapid-fire questions about what they do and how they stay productive. Each episode is packed with actionable insights to help boost your efficiency and achieve your goals. Let's dive in and unlock the secrets to peak performance. Well, hi everybody. My name is Robin J. Emden, and I'm broadcasting to you today from the English Riviera here in sunny Torquay in South Devon, England. And I'm joined today by Kathi Sohn. Whereabouts are you, Kathi?
I am in northern Alabama.
Northern Alabama. And what's the weather like today? I know it's an English thing to ask.
It's actually quite cool. I was getting gas after I dropped my kids off from school, and I was like, wait a minute, it's cool this morning. But probably the first morning that we've had a very, very hot, in the high 90s summer, which is typical.
Ouch. Yes, I was hearing about that and was praying that we didn't get it over here. Although we don't call it the high 90s here, we call it the high 30s.
Yes, of course.
So Kathi is an author, a brilliant book called You Made It Up, Now Stop Believing It. And you also run your own program called the Hero's Journey Personal Coaching Program. And so, Kathi, if you're all set, I will start the clock and ask you 4 or 5 questions. And we're away. So, Kathi, let's talk about what you do. Who is your ideal client?
So you know how a lot of people, they know they want to make a change, but they feel stuck. You know, they think, well, it's just because of, I don't know, the economy, my boss, you know, whatever it is. My ideal client is someone who has a problem, but they have the wisdom to realize that they can turn within for answers. It's so easy for people to lay the blame on circumstances, events, you know, other people, conditions. But what is important to realize is that when you do that, you are actually also giving away the place of power to make the change. All change, no matter what it looks like, starts from within. So my ideal client comes to me already realizing that, yes, I know I need to look at myself more deeply. And they also understand that while it's not good to dwell on the past, it's important to learn from it. And you can't bury it because it will follow you. It will find ways to become known. And that if you take a more proactive approach and do some digging and learn and move on, then you can avoid a lot of problems.
Which segues nicely into the second question, which is, what is the problem that you solve? You have already alluded to that, of course, which is you can elaborate on that by all means.
So my expertise is in the core beliefs that we create before we're even 7 years old about ourselves, about other people, and about life. We jump to these conclusions just based upon, what we're observing and what we're experiencing, but we don't really understand. We're not logical. And so we tend to think, we make these connections that really aren't true. A lot of times the connection between something that's happened and ourselves, like it's all my fault, I think, is a belief that almost everybody has brought with them from childhood, this sort of guilt. So because core beliefs are fundamental to everything, it's kind of funny that I can say that I can help everyone with every problem that they might possibly arise. Now, that's very difficult to manage. So I do my best to really kind of break it down to explain to people what I can help with. And that includes getting unstuck from personal crisis. So these repeat patterns of, sometimes they show up more in health, in relationships, sometimes more in finances, depending upon where those beliefs are really centered. I also help people to get kind of out of their comfort zone, which is actually a more dangerous place than being in crisis, because in crisis, you kind of get sick and tired of being sick and tired, but in your comfort zone, you're just like, yeah, you know, everything's really not the best, but it's okay. So I help people to get unstuck from that. Also to get rid of unwanted habits, and your listeners might be interested in such habits such as procrastination, like avoiding things like goal setting or just being kind of chronically late, and those things that can kind of interfere with productivity. And in the way that I also deal with this more general, I can help everyone with everything, is I'm creating tailored resources now for people with specific issues. The one I just finished is for parents to work, for example, with their adolescent children to help them to discover their core beliefs.
That's awesome. Thank you. There's a lot to unpack there, and I recommend our listeners maybe rewind and re-listen to that, because there's so much great information in there. Thank you. So we've got 3 minutes left. Three questions. We can do it. We can do it. What is one valuable free action that the audience can implement that will help them solve that problem?
Okay, I would invite everyone to take a look at what we call your birth script. So if your mom is still around and available, or any relative who was present at your birth, what happened at your birth is incredibly important. A lot of people, if birth is already considered an emergency, but if your birth was an actual emergency, you can have more emergencies in your life than most people. And if you don't have enough, you can actually create some from yourself through something called procrastination. Again, really gets in the way of productivity. And what people don't realize is that when they're procrastinating, they're actually creating that emergency where, especially if you have a deadline, where right at the last minute, you got to make this big push. I'm speaking from experience. Like if you look up procrastinator, or my picture's in the dictionary, right? I've been working through a lot of that. But my birth was an extreme emergency. And yeah, it's very, very powerful about what happened at your birth.
Indeed, thank you. And can you share any tips or advice for someone looking to improve their productivity habits?
I would suggest that you get in touch with what is your real core purpose and mission in life. So hearing something recently that they're treating people for depression by reconnecting them with purpose. People get disconnected because they get caught up in the hustle and grind of day to day, and then we like kind of forget, or we have a mundane job and you don't realize that there's still a purpose under that. And if you're not finding it, then it's time to move on to a new job.
That's absolutely brilliant. I completely resonate with every word of what you've just said. Absolutely fantastic. So finally, we've got 1 minute left. What should I have asked you that I didn't?
So I think what sometimes people are wondering is, even if I think I had a happy childhood, or if I think my life is really great, it's important for me to look at my core belief system. And I would say absolutely yes, because we mostly traumatize ourselves. It's, yeah, our parents can traumatize us and and this and that, but really it's about the decisions that we make based on the limited information that we have. So there can be good beliefs. I'm always happy as an example. Wow, that sounds like that would be great, but then you can't really mourn in a way that's healthy because you got this belief, I'm always happy. Somebody told me, you're always happy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm always happy. So I got to put this false face on all the time. So yes, it is important to look at your beliefs, and your life can always improve. There's always more that you can do to contribute. Lots of problems out there we can help with.
Fabulous. Look at that. Exactly 7 minutes. Wonderful. Wonderful. And so much great information in there. You really packed that in. Thank you so much. I feel like we've just like had a half an hour, maybe an hour's worth of material packed into half a dozen minutes. So how can people reach you on the internet, Kathi?
Sure. You can go to kathysohn.com, and I'll spell that because my name is spelled specifically KATHI.com.
That's wonderful, right? Well, thank you so much. That's been amazing. I'm looking forward actually to having a quick chat with you afterwards because there's so many questions I've got that I would love to ask. And if people want to ask you the same questions, go to kathysohn.com, and it's actually a brilliant little website. I was looking at it yesterday and this morning, and was getting quite wrapped up in it. So thank you very much indeed. Kathi Sohn, thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Thanks for tuning in to Goalbusters. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe, rate and review it on your favourite podcast platform. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you're ready to boost your online profits, skyrocket your productivity, crush procrastination and and see a positive change in your bank balance, all within just 30 days, this is your opportunity. Take my free 5-day challenge at www.skyrocketyourproductivitychallenge.com.